imagine to see Ohtani and Trout in the playoffs?
Oh, we have to. That WBC matchup, we saw how these two respond in big moments. Ohtani was so much fun to watch. We hear about Mike Trout and his experiences. Let's get these guys in some pressure-packed situation. I'm pulling for them. I don't see any way this guy gets traded. I think, Anaheim, it would not be a good situation if they trade Ohtani.
Bo, give me your hot take. Come on, let's go.
Perry Minasian, the general manager of the Angels.
By the way, he has said they do not trade
Yes, and he has to say that.
Right.
He has to say it, but it will also be organizational malpractice if he does not explore what a trade would look like. Because if you're the Angels, at some point, you have to take a hard look at your organization and say, let's look at the American League. You have the Rays, the O's, the Yankees, and Toronto in the American League East. I don't see the Angels roster being better than any one of those four teams. You look at your own division, you have Texas, you have Houston, and then you have Seattle, who right now they haven't played their best baseball, but their roster is built for a championship. So that's another three teams that you have to ask yourself, are we better than those three teams? Someone is going to have to win the Central. So when you look at these 10 teams, you have to really look at your team and say, we could be one of 5 to get into the postseason. I don't see their roster being capable of doing that. They have the biggest ticket in baseball in Ohtani and a chance to set their organization up for future success. Even when you look at the big three, Ohtani, Trout, Rendon, even when all three of them are healthy and in the lineup, they are a sub-500 team. So for me, I'm going to do what everybody is probably telling me not to do. But that's what leadership is all about. Sometimes you're going to be on the island by yourself. But I believe that there is a taker out there that can help the Angels reset their organization and actually put them in position to re-sign Ohtani this offseason. Because right now they can't re-sign him because of everything they have on the books. So let's go to the board. I want to look at this trade.
I want to see this potential trade proposal.
Yes, I want to look at this trade.
This is a deal you've got that can reset the franchise. You're going to the Mets, so the Mets are getting Ohtani.
I got Ohtani going to the Mets, and the Mets are going to be all in. Because now you put Ohtani, Matt Scherzer, and Verlander, they are all in. They're going for it.
Rendon.
But whoever gets Ohtani, for me,
you got to take the massive contract.
They have to take Rendon off of my books.
Oh.
They have to get Rendon off of my books. I'm going to send Hunter Renfroe so that the Mets get some offense, and then we're going to put a reliever in there as well. But for me, more importantly, as the Angels, what I'm getting back is I'm getting back almost Major League ready prospects. I'm going to have to take Sterling Marte just because the Mets are going to need to get his money off the books. We get Escobar because he is the third baseman that's playing for the Mets. But more importantly, when you look at
4 top prospects you're getting.
4 top prospects and you're getting Major League ready players.
That Brett Beatty as well, is it?
Yes, that can actually help you the rest of this season. But more importantly, when you look at what it's going to do for the Anaheim Angels, their payroll right now is about $230. They make this deal, it's roughly $105 going into next year. And now, all the money that you moved, you have a chance to sit down with your guy and bring him back to Anaheim. But guess what? You have the money now and the resources to bring him back, but your organization is also better.
And is somebody going to give up that much just to have him as a rental player?
Right, for 2 months, you're going to have 4 prospects.
I think
That's why I said the Mets. Yes, because they're all the Mets. You have to find someone who's all in on this season, and that is the New York Mets.
But before I saw your proposal, to Peeves' point, I would have said 2 prospects, 2 everyday players for 2 months of a guy. You're not going to get this kind of a package.
No, I don't think you're going to get that kind of package unless you were to work out an extension. You can say, okay, we can talk right now. You got a month until the trade deadline. You can explore, hey, can one of these teams, the New York Mets, extend him and give him what he was going to get in a few months on the free agent market? Now that's a talk. But for me, you can have all the prospects. When we just looked at Justin Verlander going back to Houston and what the Tigers got in return, nothing. And the Houston Astros got the 2-time World Series champion and a 2-time Cy Young Award for prospects that were supposed to be something. I don't believe in prospects. I'm pull for them, but I don't believe in banking on them building my future. I'm all in this season with the Angels. The Angels have to make it. It's bust.
But to Bo's point, let's suppose you make the playoffs, you lose like a couple games and you're done. You could have had all these prospects.
Whether you don't, you can make the playoffs and don't make it to the World Series. You cannot make the playoffs. The bottom line is this: they can't re-sign him the way the organization is structured right now. So when you tell yourself you're going to lose this player, which is the biggest ticket, and all you're going to get is draft pick compensation.
Brutal.
That's all you're going to get. That's organizational malpractice.
But you couldn't win the World Series this year if you get in.
But you got to be realistic with your team, though.
They don't have enough.
Yeah. Well,